So I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of people say that if they put real black people in a horror movie, that it wouldn't be a horror movie. Because soon as they saw or heard something iffy, they just be out. But they put a real black person in a horror movie. And we had a horror movie. Alright, so Get Out is the latest horror movie directed by Jordan Peele. Surprising, I know. But it's about this interracial couple where you have this black dude and this white chick, and they've been dating for a while. And they finally decide it's time to meet the white chick's family. So, of course, the black guy has his worries and concerns, but when they go up to meet the family, all this creepy, odd stuff starts to happen. And now you have a horror, mystery, thriller, suspense movie with some comedic satire. Now, from seeing this trailer, I knew I wanted to watch the movie. I mean, it seemed like your standard interracial relationship, but then in the trailer, you can kind of see that all of this creepy, weird, odd stuff starts to happen once the guy gets to meet the family. And it just drew me in right out the bat. And after seeing the movie, one of my biggest things that I liked about the movie was how they approached the issues that they talked about in this movie. Now, of course, there was a lot of racism in this movie, but it wasn't in-your-face racism. It was really subtle, more like the racism that you would encounter in real life, if you've ever encountered it. I know I've encountered it a couple of times, and it was much more like how this movie portrayed it, real subtle, like when the guy is sitting there meeting the family for the first time, and the dad feels it's okay to try to talk a little slang, I guess you can, to him. He's like, so how long this thing been going on? My man, you know, stuff like that. It just makes it a very uneasy conversation, and that happened throughout the movie, and I really enjoyed that. Another thing I enjoyed was the comedic side of it, and I mean, they threw jokes in here at times because the movie was really serious and it had a really subtle, dark tone to it. So when you got the jokes, it was really relieving, and I think they were timed perfectly. Now let's talk about the characters in this movie. The main character, played by Daniel Kaluuya, I think that's it, Kaluuya. He did an amazing job. He plays the boyfriend in this scenario, and like I said in the beginning, they finally had some real black people in it, because I feel like his character is exactly how someone would act in this situation. I mean, at first he's trying to play it cool, and when he sees the little subtle racist things, he kind of lets it slide because he's like, maybe they don't know any better, so I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. But then as things start to unravel and more things start to happen, he starts to have genuine reactions to stuff that I feel would be realistic versus your typical horror movie where the guy goes to explore and then he gets his head cut off or something. Now, the other character I want to talk about in this movie is Rod, I think that was his name, but it's played by Lil Ray Howery, and he was one of my favorite characters. Now, if there was any real black people in this movie, it was him. Because, I mean, the stuff he says to Daniel, who's his best friend in this movie, is stuff that you would expect someone to say in real life. I mean, he just comes straight off with it like, hey, man, they're doing some fucked up stuff to people, so watch it back. And he says it in a very comedic way, even at serious times in the movie, and I just found him hilarious. The other characters in this movie, mainly the girlfriend and the parents of the girlfriend, they did a good job as well. I mean, they played their roles well, and you did get a sense of caution and uncertainty when their characters were on screen, so I commend them for it. But Daniel Kaluuya and Lil Ray Howery, they definitely stole the show for me in this movie. Now, the pacing of this movie was pretty good, too. I don't want to say it was a slow burn, because saying a slow burn means that there's a big payoff at the end. But it wasn't the most high, intense paced movie. I mean, it was very subtle, and it had a serious tone through most of the parts. And because of the trailer, you kind of knew what was going to happen, so it kept you intrigued, and I knew it kept me locked in for the most part. So the pacing of the movie wasn't a big issue, but it probably could have been a little bit better. But I don't really want to complain about it because I like the movie. Now, to bring this all back around, Get Out had a very interesting plot. It touched on a very serious topic that most people don't want to talk about these days, but it did it in a very subtle, not so in-your-face way. The characters did an amazing job. I really liked how they had a serious tone in the movie, then did some comedic satire to really lighten the mood at the perfect times. The pacing of the movie was pretty good. It was a thriller, but it wasn't a slow burn. The visuals in the movie did well. They had some great imagery in here. And overall, I'd have to say that this movie is definitely movie magic must see. Alright, so that's it for this one, folks. So for the comment convo today, I want you to tell me what you thought about Get Out. Did you like how they did the racism and the subtle tone? Or do you think it should have been a little more in your face? Have you ever dealt with racism? Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.